Faith Is TV, where faith, books, and business collide. Experience the power of faith, now streaming on your TV. Well, hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. I am so excited about tonight. And I so thank you, each and every one of you, for tuning in to, yes, you are on my TV show, Now Faith Is TV, where faith, books, and business collide. And so today is a special episode that I'm kicking off with the co-authors of Her Unbreakable Spirit, Harnessing the Power to Rise Again. And so we have two of the co-authors with me tonight, and so we're going to interview both of them. And so I want to make sure that you guys share this out, you tag somebody, you invite somebody to come along with us on this interview, because we are going to have an amazing time tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate all of you who are here. Those of you who do not know me, I'm Dr. Paulette Harper, also known as Pastor P. I am the story coach. I am the story activator for many nonfiction aspiring authors who are looking to write books. And so what I do is I coach, teach, and show aspiring authors how to launch their books in 90 days or in 6 months. And so my clients work with me in several different ways. It's either one of my amazing anthologies, Her Unbreakable Spirit is number 9 for me, or my one-on-one coaching, or my 90-day program. And so if you fit any one of those categories, definitely after this episode, please connect with me. And so I am going to interview and introduce these two amazing authors. And so, like I said, you can put comments in on Facebook. We are streaming on Facebook and then also on YouTube as well. And so, if you're on Facebook, go ahead. You can chime in. You can ask any questions that you want, and then we will make sure that we look and answer any questions that you may have from these two co-authors of Her Unbreakable Spirit. So we have on the stage, on the platform, who we are spotlighting today, we have Christina Aguilera, and then also we have Keisha Simmons here. And so I'm going to share with you, give you an introduction to these authors, and then we are going to kick this interview off. We're going to talk to them about their chapter, talk to them about what they're doing, what's next for them, and really, even this process of becoming, for Keisha, a first-time author. For Christina, she's new to this, all right? She not new to this, she's true to it, all right? She ain't new to it, she's true to it. So anyway, let me introduce these wonderful co-authors, and we're gonna just kick this thing off. So Christina is a mother, wife, and entrepreneur. In 2017, Christina became a first-time author featuring in Breaking Through Barriers, Volume 2, and Breaking into Brilliance, Volume 1. She is also she has launched her new business. She has a business called Unique and Beautiful Boutique, where she sells jewelry online. Through her testimonies, books, and future speaking engagement, Christina hopes to motivate others and to listen and trust the love of God. And then we have Keisha, who is a first-time author. Give it up for her. Give it up. We have Keisha here being interviewed on Now Faith Is TV. Keisha is a debut author and a dynamic force posed to inspire and uplift. Her transformative journey has led her to contribute to this anthology, Her Unbreakable Spirit, Harnessing the Power to Rise Again, which is set to release in December. Keisha's professional past has been a tapestry of diverse roles, including a teacher, accounting analysis, senior mortgage underwriter, HR generalist, and the adapt management of a prayer ministry. counseling venture. Her academic proudness shines through her BA in marketing business and an MBA in human resources. And so I want to welcome both of you here on Now Faith Is TV. And we are going to start this interview. And so I shared a little bit about who you are. So why don't you go ahead and, Keisha, why don't you unmute yourself? And then we are going to go into this interview. And so Christina.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us here. We're kicking off this author series with all of the authors in this anthology called Her Unbreakable Spirit. And so with you, Christina, why don't you give us a little backstory about your chapter? Don't do the excerpt yet, but just a little bit of a backstory about how you came up with the idea about the story that you wanted to write.
Okay, so I wrote about my current situation. Right now, I'm going to nursing school. Um, I am pushing through, school, and different things been coming my way, and I know that God's going to get me through it because He opened the door. But sometimes fiery darts come to try to
Yeah.
discourage me, but I know that I'm going to make it on the other side. So pretty much that's what it's about.
Okay. Yeah. And you are going to make it. You definitely are going to make it on the other side. All right. And so what is the title of your chapter?
It's called God's Got My Back.
God's got my back. Wonderful, wonderful. So, with that title, I know that it definitely will resonate with a lot of readers. God's got my back, because sometimes through life, we kind of sometimes get challenged by what we go through, and then we kind of question if God has me or not. And so with this anthology, what was your I know you've been in many of my anthologies. You rocked with me for a lot of times. So what was different about her unbreakable her harnessing goodness, let me get the title right of the book. Her Unbreakable Spirit. What was so different about this experience for you?
Well, I feel like this experience, for me, it's a different season in my life.
Oh, that's good.
Different season. Each time I worked with you, it's been a different season. This season, I'm in school, I'm pressing forward. So I wanted to work with you because, you're a good coach. You help me, you encourage me to keep going and moving forward. And this book means a lot to me.
Okay. Okay. That's really good. You know what you said? One thing that was so important, you said you're in a different season in your life. And so I think that is so powerful, because we have to know the season in which we are moving in, the season that God has us. And a lot of times when we're writing the stories, our stories really does resonate with the current season that we're in. So Her Unbreakable Spirit, harnessing the power to rise again. And so being that you have, walked this pathway before. And so with your chapter, what is it about your chapter that is different than all the other chapters that you've written in your books?
I feel like this chapter is different because I told you again, I wrote about going to nursing school, working with the seniors. I work with dementia patients. The other stuff I did had to do with different things for my life,
Okay.
but this one's about me pursuing my career. And so that's why I mentioned it's a new season.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, wonderful. So if you are tuning in, we are chopping it up with the some of the co-authors of Her Unbreakable Spirit. Thank you so much. I see somebody joining us tonight. So if you could tag somebody, share this out on your page as well, that would be so, so, so awesome. And so, Christina, let me ask you something. What has being that you are a author, what's been the response to, your loved ones about continuing to write?
Um, I've been hearing from different people like that's so cool that you got to share your story, your inspiration, and it makes me smile, makes me feel good because writing all the stuff. It was I know during the process of writing it's hard, but then when you actually see the book and the finished product, it makes you proud. Like I did that.
Yeah.
Like it was worth it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely, definitely. All right. We're gonna bring Keisha on in here. Keisha, go ahead and unmute yourself. And
Hello.
hello, hello, hello. Good evening, Keisha. Good evening. So, first of all, let me just say this: congratulations on taking the step of being a first-time author. Tell us what that experience or how that experience has been for you when you saw the call, you decided, you know what, I'm going to jump and I'm going to do it. What were you going through at the moment when you said, yeah, I want to do this. I want to share my story.
I think I shared prior that I was writing another book, but I was having challenges. So the opportunity to have a coach, I wanted that opportunity, and it's really helped me. And I felt like this would be an opportunity for me to do something totally different from what I was trying to write, but also get that direction. And so it was a very tedious process, but well worth it at the end. Didn't understand everything that was going on at moments, but it was so worth it. Your coaching really helped out, and this gave me an opportunity to share some information about me that people didn't know, but also help others in the same at the same time.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So let's dive a little bit into your chapter. All right. So what's the title of your chapter?
It's called You Were Created with Purpose.
You are created with purpose. And so, what made you decide on that particular chapter that you wanted to debut in this book?
So I have a lot of what I do day to day is ministry. And so I find myself telling people like 5 times out of 10 that they have purpose. And one night I was just reflecting and praying and meditating, and God just started bringing some things to remembrance for me. And that came up, and I thought about it, and that was the title. So a lot of people think that because they go through so much they don't have a purpose, but everything we endure is a purpose. It's a purpose for God to show us that he does care and he is there and it's going to work for our good.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. And so you mentioned something about having a whole lot of different things that you could have talked about, and then you found that you talk a lot about purpose, and that is so important that we find what our purpose is. And so, in your chapter, and going through this process, what was being that you're a first timer, and I'm sure that there are other first timers who are going to be listening to this interview as well. So, what's one thing, or maybe a couple things, that you would tell first timers when it comes to, deciding to write their story?
I think it's important to pick the right coach, but also give yourself grace, because if you're new to this, you don't know the process. And so you're being difficult on yourself. But if you have the right coach, they're going to bring out your story in the best aspects. So I think just breathe through it and trust your coach that they're going to get the best version of you in the book out. So I say just go with the flow. And I
Yeah.
think if you can just have an attitude to say, hey, I'm open, you'll get the best results.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree with you on that, and that's one of the reasons why I like the coaching, because I know that especially with, first timers,
Mm.
they're a little, nervous. They're not real sure, like you mentioned, about the process, and even, having the courage to trust me in that process, and I realize as a coach that, my job is to pull that creativity out of you. And I know that I have the ability to do that. And so when you think about that process of being a first time author, deciding the story that you wanted to write, because these are all transformational stories. They're nonfiction stories. I mean, these are true experiences that all of these authors have gone through. And they have said, yeah, I want people to know what I've experienced in life. So what was it like for you to say, okay, some people don't know this about me? They don't know this story. They may have never heard this story, and maybe never heard of, what I've experienced. So what made you decide that, okay, I'm willing to tell people this side of me that maybe they don't know?
Because I think I want people to understand, just not for me, but I always tell people it's things behind the door that we don't even begin to understand about people. And so it's so important to have discernment and to, just look at things from a different perspective, but just know that we just got to give people grace, but understand everyone has a story.
Yeah, that is so true. That is so true. All right, Christina, we are going to come back to you. And so, Christina, being that you have, you've written, quite a few books. All right, you've written quite a few books, and so with this, in writing the story that you did, right, and you mentioned about this is the season that you are in and where you are right now. So you have been on a journey, meaning that from the time we first met, you wrote a different story, and it's almost like that you have evolved from story to story, from experience to experience, and from season to season, And so for the readers out there, and somebody who has written several books, other readers that are, maybe, other authors who have written several books as well, being in an anthology, all right, being in an anthology, what makes you, for you, and the fact that you've done quite a few, all right, why do you keep being in anthologies versus, I just want to do my own book?
Because I feel like God wants me to share pieces of my testimony.
Okay.
And at the right, perfect time, I will do my solo book and my children's book. Those are my two goals. But right now, He's opening a door for me to work in the anthologies, So
yeah.
I don't know, and I like doing it. It's fun.
I think that was a great response. You said that you want people to read pieces of you. Okay, pieces of you. All right, Keisha, I'm going to ask you something that's similar to that as well. When it comes to, you're a first-time author, the experience that you have been on, and this particular anthology, because people are doing anthologies, a lot, and so many people are, connecting with so many other visionary authors about writing their stories. And so with you being that first timer, being vulnerable, writing this particular story, and then trusting me in the process, what would you say to somebody who's like on the fence about even sharing something that is so personal?
I would say that if God tells you to do it, do it. But everything we endure in life is to help someone else. So you just have to share the things if we share more, we can help more people. So it's important to share. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. Definitely on that. All right, so we're gonna dive into our chapters, because I know that there are listeners, I know there are readers who are chiming in tonight. And then when this goes, when we show this on Now Faith Is TV, I know there's going to be some people like, I want to hear the story. I want to hear what they got to say. I want the juicy news. All right. So we are going to talk about their chapters. All right. So they're going to read a little excerpt from their chapter. And so just to whet your appetite, because, the book is going to be released in December. And so we want to whet your appetite so that you can really be looking for the book. And also, you still have an opportunity to get a paperback copy because we're still in pre-sale mode. And so you can still connect with either one of these co-authors to get a copy of a personalized autographed copy of Her Unbreakable Spirit when it finally is released. And so let's go to Christina. All right. So tell us once again, what is the title of your chapter? And then read a little excerpt from your chapter.
Okay, it's called God's Got My Back, and I'm going to read a few of the beginning of the chapter. So I start off with Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. In this new season, I am determined to accomplish my dreams and goals. I want to walk in victory. Everything the devil tried to throw at me only made me stronger. I have seen this many times in my life. Co-authoring 7 books, including this one, helped me with forgiveness, understanding, and healing my heart and addiction and pain. But this season is different. This season is about the new adult me. This season is about the future Christina, the prayer warrior, the interceder, the overcomer. God calls me to be obedient this season, to listen to his voice. Therefore, you shall obey the Lord your God and observe his commandments and his statutes, which I command you today. Deuteronomy 27:10.
Well, come on here, 7-time author. Come on here, 7-time bestseller. I did not know you. Christina. Oh my God, I love that chapter. You know why? Because it is so important for you to know the season and where you are right now. You know, that you're not where you used to be. And you said that this is I want you to repeat something that you said in your chapter about the new Christina.
Okay, so I put this season is about the new adult me. This season is about the future Christina.
The new adult me and the future Christina.
The nurse Christina. I never thought I was gonna be a nurse, but the Lord knew all the plans he had for me. And you know what? He's been giving me a heart to help people. Like yesterday I went to go into the facility and I got to feed this man. He can't even eat on his own, and I laid hands on him. So God's using me in their ministry.
Okay. That is awesome. Yeah. So when somebody reads your chapter, share with us a couple of things that you want them to take away from.
Well, I want to say, like, if whoever's listening, if you do read my chapter, I just want to be able to encourage you that if you have dreams or any goals that you want to do, that anything's possible, that God can make a way, that you can do anything.
Yeah.
And don't let the enemy discourage you because he's a liar. Because that's what I'm doing this season. I'm pushing forward.
Oh my goodness. That is so awesome. That's what you have to do. Push forward. I mean, yeah, you push forward, you got seven books. Okay. I'm going to say you did do that. That is so awesome. And so, so tell us from your chapter, from your chapter, you talked about, the future you. And so you mentioned about you being, you going to nursing school right now. And that's, congratulations to you for that. And so God's got my back. All right. God's got my back. And so with that title in itself, what made you decide on that particular title? Out of all the titles that you could have, selected, what made you think about that one?
I feel like that chapter fits what I'm going through right now.
Okay.
I feel like God's got my back. I'm pushing forward. I'm going through this new season. I'm going through school. I'll be done next month. And,
awesome.
I'm preparing for state board. And I know that God's got my back. And I know like the enemy's gonna try to discourage me and make me feel like I'm not smart enough, that I'm not good enough. But I know that at the end of the day, he's a liar.
Yeah.
And I know that the Lord opened this door for me to do this, and all the puzzle pieces are working together. And I don't know, I'm really happy.
Good, good. That is so awesome. Congratulations. Congratulations. Being your coach all this time, I have seen your growth. All right. I have seen your evolution, meaning that you started you moved through the process. Okay. And I've seen how, the hand of the Lord has been on you and how you've really grown being an entrepreneur, being an author. I've watched you. Okay, I have. I've don't even start crying now. Okay, I've watched you. I've watched you. You know what I'm thinking about? You're like this butterfly, Christina.
Oh,
You're like this butterfly. And so you have been in this cocoon. All right. And all you needed was somebody to show you how to fly. And we were connected by God. Okay. And I see you as a butterfly. That you are just, you're doing your thing. You are doing your thing. And so I just applaud you because I have watched you grow, girl. I watched you do it. I watched you, and so it's just a tremendous blessing. It is just a tremendous blessing. So I applaud you, the steps that you're taking, and then the fact that next month you're going to be graduating, taking the bar, or not the bar, what is it called?
So we're done with school December 21st, and then we schedule for a state board test. So
Okay.
I can get certified. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. All right, wonderful. So we'll get back to you. So let us go to Keisha. Because Keisha is a first-time author. All right, she's coming with it. All right, and so her chapter, Keisha, unmute yourself and tell us what is the title once again of your chapter.
The title is "You Were Created with Purpose."
All right, and so give us an excerpt from your chapter as well.
So 12 years ago, I reflected on God's love after I took a freedom class at my church. God created me with his divine purpose, created me to help others get through the most difficult trials. I thank God for the clarity of it all. I went through so much and still find a way to keep going and being a blessing to others. If you are here and alive after all you endured, you are meant to be here.
Oh, wow. All right. So you said something that was so powerful. You talked about the things that we go through in life and finding purpose in that, And so your chapter talks about something that you experienced, all right? Without giving all the juicy details, because we still want people to go out and buy the book, okay? Tell us just a little bit of what your chapter alludes to, that you have gone through.
So I've gone through several things, but as a child, I was almost abducted. And so what was so funny is when we were going through our coaching, it was several scenarios and we had to just kind of get it to like 2 or 3 scenarios, but just how certain things that occur in our lives can impact us. And if you get the help that you need, you can recover and be successful. But that was a moment where my life could have changed drastically. I could have been dead, but God had a plan and he had somebody there to save me. And I had common sense and I ran, but it was really a terrifying moment and it changed my life forever. But it also gave me an opportunity to grow and learn and be vulnerable. And that's a process. And in life, we go through things and we have to learn to grow from it and to accept, I don't like this. I don't like how it made me feel, but you can recover. And he makes us all new. It's biblical.
Yeah, definitely. So you talked about almost being abducted, and that is so traumatic. that is so very traumatic. And so I know that there could be somebody who has gone through it, or, from, you mentioned it was your childhood, and so from a childhood, from a child, excuse me, from being a child and then experiencing something like that, as you developed and as you grew, um, what would you say to somebody who's gone through that traumatic experience and they're still struggling with it?
You can't stay in that place.
Okay.
If you continue to stay in that place, you don't grow and you don't expand. And you have to share. Sharing is caring. If
Okay.
we keep things to ourselves, we're blocking others from, like you said, somebody else may be going through the same scenario and they may
Yeah.
feel like they can't make it. But if they hear your story and how you conquered it, then they know that they can do it. I think we all need each other's love and support to know, hey, we can get through this. And so I think you're brave when you can share.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, and I think you're absolutely correct. You are brave because you get the courage to be able to share it. Because the thing about trauma and what we go through, sometimes it's afflicted from other people. Other
Mhm.
people were part of it, and so your story is so powerful because one. You're going to be able to minister to someone who's gone through that or similar story, and then to give them the hope that they need in order to deal with. And one of the things that you said was you can't stay there. You have to do something
Right.
to get out of the situation, to get through the trauma. And so what was the thing that happened to you? I mean, you mentioned about the being abducted, almost being abducted. Okay, how old were you when that happened?
I was 9 or 10 years old, but I was so young, and that was like a crazy year. I don't want to go into some other personal things, but it was a big year because some major changes happened in my life. So it was a pivotal moment. But the impacts of that was because I was almost abducted by a group of men. I didn't trust men. So I had to
Okay.
rebuild my trust with men.
Yeah.
And that was a process. I had to get counseling. I mean, I had to really grow and I had to accept and trust again.
Yeah.
And that's a process. I know we all go through it. It may not be about abduction, but we all have to learn to get past it and trust again. And so
Yeah.
I hope that my chapter helps somebody to see that regardless of what you go through, you do have the right to feel a certain way, but
Yeah.
you have to take time to accept it, breathe through it, then get to your next.
Yeah, yeah, I think that is so powerful. It definitely is something that you definitely need to do. And so, being that want to make sure that you guys are sharing this out. If you are listening to us here on Facebook, and definitely it is being streamed on YouTube as well, we are talking to two of the co-authors in Her Unbreakable Spirit, Harnessing the Power to Rise Again, which is going to be releasing in December. If you have yet to purchase a copy of this book, these wonderful authors still have copies for you to purchase that you can still contact them, get an autographed copy from them. You know what? Christmas is right around the corner. All right. These books are going to make wonderful Christmas gifts. Buy several, share them out, give them away as Christmas gifts, definitely. And so, with both of you, going through this process and really sharing your story, what would be you've tasted what it is to be an author. So, Keisha, since I'm still talking to you, what are you gonna do next after you become we're gonna be bestsellers. So what you gonna do after becoming a best-selling author and you have your book in your hand?
I'm gonna scream and thank God and just and try to hand out the book, but also I'm going to work on my next two projects. So I'm grateful for the experience, but I'm grateful to complete this book and to meet some wonderful ladies. And I can't wait to read their stories.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's gonna be the great thing about listening to and reading the other stories, and we're doing these interviews so that we can, kind of whet the people's appetites, the reader's appetite. They can get a flavor of our chapters, and then also hear from all the co-authors that are part of this book. And so there are 11 of us inside of this anthology. And as I mentioned, this is anthology number 10, I believe. And so, releasing in December. And, the thing about this particular anthology and what I wanted to do is to bring, a group of women together. Most of the authors inside of this book are first-time authors. Most of them are first-time authors. A few of them are not first-time authors. We do have an author who is a fiction writer, and so she is a first-time nonfiction author, which is really, really great. And you're going to hear from her next week. Some of the other authors are going to be on next week as well, and so you'll get an opportunity to meet some of the other co-authors when we dive into another group of author series. And so, ladies, when you're thinking about writing your story, sharing your story, and then just being out there, what makes you when you think about being vulnerable with the story that you wrote, okay, and knowing that, okay, it's going to be on Amazon, people are going to read it, people are going to, people that didn't know, what's been, I'm going to go with Keisha, what has been the response for people that that the people that know that you've written, you're in an anthology? What's been the response from your family and your friends?
People are really excited, and I've had some friends be like, I can't wait to get, no, I want to come get it from you, and you have to autograph it in person. So I've seen who really loves me, and this has been an opportunity for me to see that I have purpose. I'm telling other people they have purpose, but I have purpose, and people do care. So that's what I would want people to get from just this whole book anthology, is that people do care about you, and just be bold enough to do the things that you're afraid to do, and you'll be pleased with the results.
Yeah, that's really good. All right, Christina. So you did this so many more times. All right, so many times. All right. So what's been? I know you may have mentioned this earlier, but what's been the response? Because people see you continuing to do it. For some of us, it's not a one-time thing for us to write a chapter, a book. One of the things that I learned about being an author is once you write either an anthology, one chapter, or your own solo book, your readers are going to be like, okay, when is the next one coming out? It's like they don't give you room to kind of breathe, to get your thoughts together before you write, you're ready to write another book. So Christina, for you, and being where you are right now, what's kind of been, the response from your readers, your families, that this is something that you continue to do, that this wasn't just a fad for you?
My family's been proud of me. I know a few of my classmates purchased the new book.
Okay.
And they're like, whoa, that's really cool. I've been talking about, like, I just shared yesterday in the break room, oh, I'm going to be on a interview. And they're like, that's so cool. They're like, I couldn't do that. And I'm like, because, people are shy, but I don't know. It's really fun. I don't know. I'm stepping out. At first, I was like kind of nervous in the beginning.
Yeah.
But God's like breaking off the shell, and he's giving me more confidence. And I feel like each time I do this, it's changing me on the inside.
Yeah. It's that transformation that you are having. And you know what? You can't even put a price tag on the transformation, because it's the change that happens to you internally, and then it reflects on the outside, So awesome. So those of you who are tuning in tonight, we are doing an interview with the co-authors of Her Unbreakable Spirit, Harnessing the Power to Rise Again. These are some movers, some shakers, some women who have soared, some women who have said, okay, I've gone through that in life. I want to talk about it. I want to share my story, because I am not what I was. I'm living in my purpose like Keisha is. Christina says she a new butterfly. I'm going to call her the butterfly. I'm going to call her the butterfly. multiply. All right. So I wrote a chapter in the book as well called Stretched but Unbreakable. Stretched but Unbreakable. And so I'm going to share an excerpt from my chapter as well. And then we're going to kind of, pull this in and talk a little bit more with these co-authors. So, Stretch but Unbreakable. Can you recall a time when you were caught in a storm where it felt like the tempest would never relent? Perhaps you know that feeling all too well, especially when these trials seem to roll in after one another, leaving you barely a moment to catch your breath. Among these tempests that life throws our way are some that prematurely etch themselves into our memories. Out of all the storms I weathered, one stands out distinctly above the rest. Have you ever embarked on a journey of faith, acting upon what you believe to be a divine message, only to find yourself gripping with the urge to retreat halfway through? I have many times, all right? You want to slam on the brakes, shift into reverse, and begin anew. The path unfolding before you seems distant from your initial expectation. Every unraveling scene whispers that you might have misunderstood the signs. Apprehension takes root, and the doors of doubt and anxiety push open the chambers of your heart. Wow. Prior to taking the step of faith, your confidence in what you were doing was strong and unquestionable. Yet all along, God knew exactly what trouble awaited you, what problems you were making, or what problems were happening in that process. And He knew that you would be in a place of doubt and disbelief. You begin to question whether God told you to do this. Did you really hear God? For sure. Did you really hear God? For sure. If God told you, then there shouldn't be any problems. No challenges, no regrets, right? On the contrary, in those places, we can be assured that God has us right where He wants us, in the place of trouble. In the places of trouble. In that place is where His still, quiet voice is not speaking. That is my chapter. Stretched, but unbreakable. You will definitely have to pick up a copy of the book if you want to read more about these juicy stories. All right, more about these stories. So Christina, give us, how can people connect with you? Where can they go to get a copy of your book? And then tell us what is next for Christina.
Okay, so my email is Christina2120 @outlook.com. My Facebook is Christina Aguilar. Website is christinaaguilar.mycanva.site. And then Instagram is my name, Christina Aguilar. So awesome. You can contact me there. You can go to the website to order the book if you're interested. And what's next for me? I want to keep on writing.
Okay. Yeah.
I want to continue to write because God gave me this gift, and I know that it's going to help somebody. When I pour out all the hurts and the pains, everything, I know it's going to encourage somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, you're definitely right about that. Yeah. All right, Keisha, where can people connect with you? And you shared with us that you are, looking to finish your 2 projects that you have. Can you give us a little idea of what you're working on?
So I'm working on consulting, but as well as my books, I'm working on like a devotional / planner to give people some plans on wellness, as well as just getting wholeness, trying to help people with wholeness, and just some other projects, but consulting. And the next book will be wholeness. And then I'll probably do another book on marriage.
Okay. Nice. All right. And so where can people connect with you?
Keisha.Simmons. I'm on Facebook. Keisha.Simmons 10 on Facebook. All things consulting.co. That's my website. And Instagram, KSI_MMONS38. And my email is TIPPYTOES050 That's how you can reach me.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I do appreciate both of you guys kicking off our author series. I'm looking forward to the book release in December. Definitely looking forward to the book release. In the next upcoming weeks, you're going to be seeing some graphics, coming out about the book release, what that is going to entail, how you as the reader can support us by purchasing a copy of the ebook to push us into Amazon best-selling authors. And I'm really looking forward to that as well. And so, on behalf of my publishing company that we're publishing, I want to, thank all of you who have been following, rocking with me since day one, since I became an author way back when in 2008 when I wrote my very first book. And so thank you guys so much for, buying our books, buying my books, buying the co-authors' books as well, because I can tell you this, that we could not do it without you. Being a reader, being an author, a writer, we need you. We need you. And so we can only write and be, the best that we can be because you pull that out of us. I mentioned that when we finish writing one chapter, one book, you guys are saying, when is the next one? When is the next one? And so I just want to say thank you to all of you who have been, just rocking with me since day one. You guys have just really been doing it. And you've always supported every anthology that I have done. You have bought copies of the author's books. You have, purchased the ebook. You've helped us push us into bestseller. And so we are going to still need you to do that for us in December because you know what? This group of authors, most of them, as I mentioned, are first-time authors, and I want them to get that little Amazon badge, that says bestseller, #1 bestseller. All right. And I just believe by faith, I just believe that it's going to happen. And I know that this is part of the experience that I wanted them to have as well. So I want to thank all of you guys for tuning in tonight. Share this out. Definitely. If you are looking at this and this is the replay, these are some of the amazing authors in the anthology, Her Unbreakable Spirit, Harnessing the Power to Rise Again. You will have to listen to the entire episode to hear their chapter, to hear excerpts from their chapter, to get a feel of who they are and find out, what their chapter is about. But most importantly, I want you to go out and support them. I want you to go out and support them. Your family and your friends are no doubt going to be watching this episode. I want you to make sure. I want you to make sure that you go to Keisha's website. You purchase a book from her. You go to Christina's website and you purchase a book from her. Wherever you see them on social media, they're still promoting. They're still sharing about the book. Purchase a copy from them. Purchase a copy. Be part of their dream. Be part of their dream, and push them to their next. Push them to their next. And I just know as a self-publishing coach, when I see these ladies, they rise, they soar, they say yes, even going through the process, they do it. And I already know that when they hold the book in their hand, they're going to be like, oh my God, it was really worth it. It's almost going to be like when a woman is in labor. She's in that pain. It's excruciating pain. All she wants is this baby to be coming out, okay? And so once the baby is pushed, you hold that baby in your hand and you kind of, you really forget about the pain that baby, coming out has, what you've gone through because the joy. It is the joy. It is the joy of having a book baby in your hand. it is the joy. So, all right, you guys, we have enjoyed you. I have enjoyed these co-authors. And so there is still so much more that these authors are going to be doing. We have some things that are up and coming in December. I'm not going to tell you what we're going to be doing, but you're going to be looking for us, and we're doing some big things. We're doing some big things. All right. So you have not seen the last of these authors here. Just keep watching, keep expecting, and then you're going to definitely see them do some great things as well. So this is Dr. Paulette Harper saying thank you so much for tuning in this Thursday, November the 9th, in the year of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. We will talk with you guys soon.